Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I would really appreciate it if you could take the time to subscribe if you like what you see. So in this week's video, I am just going to tell you some of my favorite shows or the shows that I'm currently watching right now. In case you just wanted to know the list of shows that I watch, here it is. I watch Game of Thrones, Unreal, Big Brother, Shadowhunters, The 100, Game of Homes, Pretty Little Liars, and Once Upon a Time. So yeah, I'm just going to briefly try to explain each show and why I like it and stuff. So I'm just going to start with a show that is really easy to get into because they have only aired one season. So this show is Unreal. This show is basically about the behind the scenes of the production of a show like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. So there's kind of a show inside of a show going on here, and so they have their own version of The Bachelor. And what's really funny is that the two producers of Unreal were they were doing some kind of producing of The Bachelor. It's crazy how, fake it is, basically. Even though it is reality TV, it can be really fake. They finished season 1 quite a while ago, and they're just about to start season 2 next week, I think, which is really exciting. I highly recommend this show. That is a show that is top of the list, number 1 recommendation for you. The next show I'm going to be talking about is also a show that is brand new. This show is Shadowhunters. Shadowhunters is based off a book series called The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. I don't know if you guys remember, but the first book of the series was a movie back in 2012 or 13, I think, for my 14th birthday. I actually went to the movie theater with my friends to watch that Mortal Instruments movie, and then also when my friends gave me that book for my birthday present. I was really stoked when the show came out because they had stopped making the movies. I would say that all of the actors on that show are very good looking. If you have read the series, then I highly recommend you watch it because it's just awesome. And the first season just finished in April, and their next season will actually it won't start until late this year or the beginning of next year, so you have plenty of time to catch up. Okay, the next show I want to talk about is just this really minor show. I'm just going to mention it because I watch it. Wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention it. So this show is Game of Homes, not Thrones. I know. So Game of Homes is a show where there are 4 teams and they're trying to remodel and completely remodel a really old house that was originally supposed to be demolished. But they're trying to remodel these rooms. Sometimes you only get 24 hours to remodel a whole bedroom. So that is a kind of tiny little show that I like to watch because I don't know, sometimes it's really fun watching home renovation shows. The next show I'm going to mention is The 100, and I only recently started getting into it. I've known of this series for quite a while now, but I didn't really get into it until I heard a lot of people talking about it, or I stumbled across a couple of YouTube videos about it, and I was like, that show seems really interesting. I kind of want to continue watching it. And there are 3 seasons in total, and I believe the 3rd season just finished, so I still have quite a while to catch up. It's a very dystopian, futuristic show. It's quite of a adventure, thriller, drama, lots of killing. Just warning. So it's kind of like a futuristic Game of Thrones. Not really though. I don't know. I really like it, but be careful when you watch the first season. It might seem a little bleh. I promise you that the second season starts getting a lot better. The next show I'm going to mention is Game of Thrones, since I mentioned it so much. So Game of Thrones, I didn't really watch the first 5 seasons at all. I've only started watching season 6. So I'm still trying to figure out characters, their stories and whatnot, but those are really easy to find online. I won't go into too much detail on what Game of Thrones is about because it's quite confusing, but just know that it involves a few kingdoms, a few armies, and a lot of killing and blood. And another show that I keep up with is Pretty Little Liars. I didn't really start like watching it like every single episode until like I'd say like sometime during season 5. Like I started watching like continuously and stuff, and the next like season starts really soon. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Pretty Little Liars is about. Like it's one of those shows that everyone knows, so it's not as much of a girly show as it was like back in season 1. Right now it's just a lot of like mystery and suspense and thrilling, and God, people keep getting killed. So next, Once Upon a Time. I love this show. Even though it sounds like a children's fairy tale show, it's not. I feel like all like the first seasons of shows are quite like naive. They're quite like toned down. But with Once Upon a Time, it gets really, really good. In the show, it is basically a combination of like fairy tale characters like Snow White, Prince Charming, the Evil Queen, you know, all of those princesses and fairy tales and stories that you've read, they are in the show. And the really cool thing about it is that they are all currently, or most of them, are living in the real world, I guess, like the world that we know, but there are like flashbacks and whatnot to when they were actually in like the Enchanted Forest or their castles and whatnot. They're all like the characters that I've loved as a child and currently still love. So they're just like a combination of that, you know, they're all like together, they all know each other. It's really interesting to watch. And also because they keep introducing new storybook characters. I hope this isn't a spoiler, but they just like finished bringing in Hades and the underworld and all that, and they just, maybe spoiler alert, so they just introduced Jekyll and Hyde into the series, which I'm really excited about because it's not really like a fairy tale story, but it is also included anyway. I don't think I personally like watched every single episode of the series, so don't worry about it. Just like Google some YouTube videos. Finally, the last show that I want to talk about today is Big Brother. So for those of you that have read 1984 by George Orwell, you probably know what or who Big Brother is. Basically, the show is kind of modeled off of that. Not that much, but you can see like the different similarities and stuff. It's a reality show. It's kind of like also a competition game show, reality show, you know. A group of people that don't know each other, they all go and live in a house, or a house built in a studio. It's kind of like a social experiment in a way. So the goal, the objective of the game is to be one of the last 2 people standing in the house, which then you get to win a certain amount of money. So every single week on normal occasions, a person is evicted from the house, and all of that is pretty complicated, but there is a lot of gameplay on it. If you want to know more, you should Wikipedia, because that will probably do a better job of explaining than I can. So yeah. And Big Brother is like a huge franchise. A lot of different countries have it, like Australia, UK, Italy, India, Canada, and the US. I watch Big Brother Canada, UK, and the US, and that is quite enough for me. It takes place over 3 months, but there are like 40 episodes because there's like 3 episodes per week. If you want to get like more information on that, go to Wikipedia, because that would take me forever to explain. So yeah, this is a show where like every single season is like a new like fresh set of people. Like you do not have to watch any of the previous seasons to get on it, which is really nice. And also, heads up, Big Brother US starts on June 22nd to 4th. God, I'm bad with dates. So yeah, guys, those are all the shows that I watch and keep up with. That's the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something about some new shows. And yeah, I will see you guys next Monday with a new video. Bye, guys. Here are 5 things that I've realized so far this year. So the